Welcome back to Universe. I'm Andrew, and today I'm playing Avatar: The Last Airbender, Crossroads of Destiny. This is challenge number 2, the island of Kyoshi. I've got it all set up there. And then here's the full board, the page open. I've got Toph and Sokka here. And this is the second part of my campaign playthrough. So if you missed the beginning, check the link in the description to the playlist. And you can start from there with a little more rules explanation. I'll still try to explain what's going on, but not quite as in depth. But whether you've seen that or not, you're welcome to join me. This is the campaign tracker here. We've got Team Avatar experience started at 0 and is up to 2. We passed a green square, so we got to add 1 card to each of the characters' decks. I was playing with Aang and Katara, and the rules don't really handle switching around characters within the campaign. That just isn't mentioned at all, but I think it's pretty easy to do. Probably if I got any wounds, I would just make sure one of the characters that I'm using has those wounds, rather than switching out a character who is wounded in order to get rid of the wounds, for example. But you could just do that however you prefer. You could imagine that they're out resting it up, make it a little easier on yourself, and let the wounded character sit out. But what that means for me today is that I've upgraded Toph and Sokka's decks with a new card based on this experience point, even though they were not in the previous challenge. We've also got the Fire Nation Dominance, which started at 20, but I was able to drop it down to 17, which means it crossed a purple square. And so I got an ally, which ended up being the Blue Spirit. And so once during this game, I'll be able to invoke the Blue Spirit, and basic actions will do +1 damage, and fire tiles will do -1 damage for the rest of that round. So I'm going to have him off to the side. Got Toph and Sokka both starting at 8 strength. Got their decks, which have 11 cards in them. I've drawn 5 for each of them. I have these tokens here, the challenge tokens. We have to resolve one of those after each player turn. And at the end of each round, the Fire Nation is going to activate with one of those cards. It says Team Avatar continues their adventure on Kyoshi Island, where Aang hopes to ride the giant elephant koi fish. But when Prince Zuko arrives with Fire Nation forces, the soldiers begin torching the village to flush out Aang and his friends. While their new allies, the Kyoshi warriors, battle Zuko's firebenders, Team Avatar must extinguish all the fires. You can see we've got a 1 out of 5 difficulty for this challenge. Our objective is going to be to put out all village fires and then defeat all the Fire Nation soldiers and benders. And we have a bonus if we can get lower Prince Zuko's strength down to the infinity marker. The Bender, Soldier, and Zuko strength tracks are starting at 6, which is the 2-player starting value. And if we can get them down to here, that's where they would be defeated. And Zuko, he never leaves the board, but we can get him down to there in order to earn that bonus. We also have our special rules for this scenario. The setup tells us to set up some objective tokens, which are fires. We can interact with the fires to remove the tokens, but they cost a variable amount of cards rather than the normal interact value of 2. This is what the tokens look like. So this one would require 3 cards instead of the normal 2 to activate, but that also means the token that is a 1 only requires 1 card to activate. There's also a 2 and a 4, and these challenge symbols, so at certain parts of the game we're going to trigger Fan the Flames, and each of those fires is going to do a burst attack which can hurt us, and the reignite icon will bring a fire back if there are down to 2 of them, or 1, or 0. So if I wanted to avoid that reignite from really being relevant, I might focus on taking out the enemies and then start putting out the fires, and maybe try to time it so that this token won't matter if it comes up, or we'll see how that plays out. We've also got our White Lotus tiles for Sokka and Toph. So I'm meant to mix these around and pick one at random, but I'm not going to shuffle 2 tiles. So instead, I'll grab this dice tray. Toph will be even and Sokka will be odd to see who goes first. 5 is odd, so Sokka is up. And we can take our first turn with his starting hand. I think I'm going to send Sokka deep into the fray here right off the bat. First, I'm going to play Boomerang Throw, which says move 1 and then do a ranged attack 1. I'm going to move him 1 space. He can share a space with that water element tile just fine. And then a ranged attack is going to let him shoot in a straight line. He can either shoot straight or diagonally. And I guess I didn't realize he was going to be in line diagonally. So hitting either Fire Nation soldier is the same thing. It's still going to affect the Fire Nation soldier shared strength track. Similarly, either Fire Nation benders, they share a track as well. But do I want to try to hit the soldiers or benders first? You know what? Let's actually target the soldiers. I was planning to hit the soldier here anyway, but I am changing my plan for the next couple actions. So the soldier track's going from 6 down to 5 from that 1 damage from the ranged attack there. And actually, this does not go to the discard pile because Sokka has this special ability, Strategist. After playing plan cards, set them above the mat, and at the start of his next turn, do them again and then discard them. So, and then I guess while we're here, we can take a look at his other actions. We can discard any 1 card to move 1 space. We can discard 2 cards to do a close attack. So he can do 1 damage to somebody next to him. And for 2 cards, he can do an interact. But again, the interact in this particular scenario is being replaced by the special rule that are, instead of 2 cards to interact, it is the number of cards that is matching the number of the tile we want to interact with. So I'm going to put this plan card, I guess, just right here. Then I'm going to play his Momo card. Everybody has 1 Momo. And it says, when discarded to do basic actions, it counts as 2 cards. And I'm going to use a move. I believe that should work just fine. To use Momo to move 2 spaces, 1 card would be 1 space, but Momo counts as 2 cards, so we can move 2 spaces. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and that is not a plan, so we'll just discard it. Then I'm going to play the Rushing Slice 1, move 1, and Burst Attack 1. So the move 1, I'm going to move him to here, and a Burst Attack is going to hit everybody, all the enemies around him, so both Fire Nation soldiers are going to take 1, which should let me bring their strength track down from 5 to 3. This one's also a plan, so we're going to be able to do it again next round. And I've just got 2 of these basic cards left. So every character's got a bunch of these basic cards that don't have any special abilities on them. Their purpose is to activate those basic actions we were just looking at. So with 2 of them, Sokka can make a close attack. So I'll spend 2 cards to do 1 basic attack for 1 damage to a close enemy, which is going to be either of those soldiers, and again, it doesn't matter which one, so that's going to bring their shared track down to 2. Sokka is finished, which means we have to reveal one of these challenge tokens. I've mixed them up before the start of the game, so let's just see which one this is. That is just a blank, which means nothing happens. And we'll just set that one here, and Toph can take her turn. Ooh, and I didn't even plan this, but check out Toph's ability here, Earth Rumble Champion. When a hero would take any damage, Toph may remove any earth tiles. For each tile removed, prevent a damage to a hero close to that tile. So she can make Earth kind of jump up and block for somebody, including herself or, of course, Sokka. And I did put Sokka right next to this Earth tile. I didn't plan to, but he's there. So if he takes any damage, Toph can protect him from 1 of that damage. And here for Toph, I've actually got 4 of her blanks, which means her next turn is probably going to be pretty good. But for now, not a lot of great options. And she has the same basic actions as Sokka. So 1 card to move, 2 cards to do a close attack, and 2 cards to interact. And I think I'm going to have to back out on what I just said about protecting Sokka. Best defense is a good offense. I'm going to play Fissure. It says move an earth tile in a straight line, any number of spaces, do 1 damage to each enemy it moved through. So we can either slide this one over this way through this guy and do 1 damage to the bender track, or we can move this one up around this way through this soldier to do 1 damage. And I think that's what we got to do. Because then I'm also going to use 2 basic cards to move Toph 2 spaces and spend 2 more basic cards to do 1 close attack and do 1 more damage to this soldier. So between the earth bending, the fissure here, 1 damage, and then the close attack brings him down to 0. And so both Fire Nation soldiers are removed. But now Sokka's not next to Earth anymore, so she's not going to be able to protect him. So I should have drawn Sokka's next hand at the end of his turn. We got 11 cards now, so that'll leave 1 card in his deck. He should have drawn there, and now Toph should draw for her turn. Same thing, and then we should reveal the next tile, and this one's also blank. So it's kind of lucky, kind of unlucky. I mean, it'd be nice to do the reignite while we haven't taken out any fires yet. Also, we're not next to any of the flames, so a fan the flames symbol would be fine too. There's also a draw symbol, which would be nice because then we get to draw cards. Actually, I think any of the symbols would be better for us right now. As we get further into the scenario, some of these tokens might be worse, which is a little bit scary. Now that both heroes have taken their turns, we're going to draw a card from the shuffled Fire Nation deck and see what their actions are. So first up, the top icon there is the Zuko symbol, or that symbol there matches Prince Zuko in this track here. It says move 4 toward the highest strength hero and burst attack 2. We've got Zuko here, so he's going to move 1, 2, 3, is going to do it. It gets him close enough to Sokka. The highest strength here is a tie between Toph and Sokka, so I could choose. I guess I could have him move toward Toph, and he would move up that 4th space there. I don't know if there's a downside. May as well, because a burst attack 2 means it's going to do 2 damage, but it still only does it to the heroes who are next to him, which either way is going to be Sokka. So Sokka's going to take 2 damage. That's bringing him down to 6. And then next here, we've got the Benders. Place the closest fire tile under the furthest hero. That hero discards a card. So I guess if we could say this is the... We'll resolve for this Bender first. So Toph is farther from him than Sokka is. The closest fire tile is here right next to him, so that goes over to Toph's space. Fire is the one element that has a special rule to it, and it damages heroes. So she's going to take 1 damage and go from 8 strength down to 7. And discard a card. So she drew her 5th basic card, so we'll discard that one. And the other Bender gets to go as well. The closest Bender to him is the fire that just got put under Toph. So that one's going to move and go to, well, the furthest hero. And actually, oh, that is Sokka, because Sokka is 3 away and Toph was only 2 spaces away, because diagonals are equivalent to orthogonal spaces in this game. So Sokka is farther than Toph to this Bender. And so he moves this fire over to Sokka, who then also takes 1 damage. Going down to 5, which is a little risky, and he also has to discard a card. Also make that one of his basics. And then these soldiers are gone, so they don't do anything at least. Which means we can go back into the hero round, and I'll roll a die again to see who goes first. Try that again. 3 is odd, so that'll be Sokka. But now he's only got 4 cards. So at the start of his turn, though, we have to resolve his plans. So let's see. All right, we'll start with the boomerang throw, move 1, and then range attack 1. And one thing that's nice here is so we can do a move 1 and then a range attack 1. Now, you are not allowed to do a range attack against somebody who is next to you, but you are allowed to do a range attack against someone who is not next to you, even if someone else is next to you. So in this case, this range attack here on the boomerang throw is not allowed to hit Zuko, because Zuko is close to Sokka. But Sokka can still throw his boomerang over here to hit that Fire Nation soldier, which is what I want to do, or the Bender. So I'm going to drop the Bender track down from 6 to 5. The plan will go to the discard pile, and then we can do his other plan, which was rushing slice to move and burst attack 1, and I'll move him here so that now the burst attack will hit both the Bender and Zuko. Zuko's track will go down to 5, and the Bender track goes to 4. And now Sokka still gets the rest of his cards to play, because those were just his plans from last turn. I'm going to spend 2 cards to do a basic action, a 1 damage, and we're going to hit the Benders again. The Benders, this one's here. So knocking them down to 3. I'm going to play Be the Hero, another powerful plan card, do a free basic action, and then heal 1. So I'm going to do another close attack to hit the Benders again down to 2, and then the heal 1 will put him up to 6, which is nice because 4 is a bad number to hit. If we get down to 4 health, we take a wound. Don't want that. So this is a plan, so that's also going to get stored on his character mat. And the card we have left here is Appa, Sokka, and one other hero move 1 each. And I'm going to move Sokka to here onto the earth and Toph here into that space, because I have a feeling, I haven't looked at her hand yet, but I have a feeling she's going to have some close attacks she wants to do. Hopefully I'm right. If we were playing actually cooperatively, it'd be probably good to talk that out before you commit, but I'm living on the edge. And I actually forgot about the blue spirit. So this round basic attacks do +1 damage, and Sokka just did 2 basic attacks. One was with the 2 basic cards, and one Be the Hero says do a free basic action. So that is a basic attack. The attacks from the plans cards, those would not have been basic attacks, but Be the Hero says do a basic action, so I think that one would count. So I said I'm living on the edge, but I'm going to rewind. I'm going to say I invoked the blue spirit first. So we're going to flip this over, and for the rest of this round, our basic attacks do +1 damage, and fire tiles do -1 damage. So that he's going to be out for the rest of this challenge. But that means when he hit the Fire Nation Bender for 2 damage, that instead, or 2 of that damage is instead 4 damage, which means the Benders are defeated as well. So now we're going to need to start putting out some fires, and if we want the bonus 1, we need to lower Zuko's strength as well, because we hit him for 1 so far. We need to flip a tile, our challenge token. So let's see. This one is, ooh, this one is the Fan the Flames. That is the one I didn't want to see because I just put Sokka in the way of it. I'm actually going to look at Toph's hand now to see if she wants that Earth, because I might use the Earth Rumble champion to prevent the damage to Sokka. All right, I don't think I need the tile, so I'm going to use Earth Rumble champion. When a hero would take damage, remove Earth tiles. For each one removed, prevent a damage to a hero close to it. So we're going to take that away off the board. There's 1 Earth tile started off the board. Now there are 2 over there waiting. Third one's still up over here. And that's going to prevent the damage. So this tile has resolved. The other fires are not close to anybody. I will say it's a little weird that this particular scenario has the fire element tiles, but they are not being used as the fires. That is, these objective tokens are the fires. The fires are not the fires. I do need to start putting them out, but Toph's hand's pretty well suited here for punching Zuko in the face. So I'm going to play Tremors. This turn, whenever Toph places an Earth tile, it does a burst attack 1. And then I will place an Earth tile. We're going to play Falling Rocks, place an Earth tile close to any hero. That tile does a close attack 1. So I'm going to put it close to Toph, and I'll put it, actually I just put it directly on Zuko's space there. And it immediately does a close attack 1, so that's 1 damage to him. Plus, because of Tremors, it's going to do another burst attack 1, which I guess, does it have to, I don't know if it counts in his space. I feel like it would count. So I'm going to count it. We're going to do another damage there. Puts him down to 3, and with 2 cards, we can do a close attack, which would do 1 damage plus 1 because of the blue spirit, which would be 2. But that would still just put Zuko down to 1. But also, it doesn't matter if he gets down to the infinity symbol now, because he doesn't leave the board, and he gets to continue to act. So I might just assume I'll be able to do the damage later and use these cards the most efficient way possible, which I think is going to be used. Momo for 2 counts as 2, and we're going to use that as a double movement and get Toph over closer to a fire so she can maybe start putting it out. And, oh, then we still have Appa. You know what? I mean, I think Sokka's just in the best place he can be. So we'll just use the Appa just to move Toph once. She's still next to the 2 fire, but now she's a little closer to the 1 and the 4 for the future, I guess. We'll resolve another one of these tiles, and we get the reignite icon. If 2 or fewer village tiles remain, replace the lowest number tile that has been removed. Well, that is not the case, so nothing bad happens. I should have redrawn everybody's hands, so 1 more for Sokka, and then reshuffle his discard pile to reform his deck, and then draw the other 4. And then this Be the Hero is still sadly sitting outside the deck for now. Toph will draw 1 and reshuffle before drawing 4 more. And it's time for another Fire Nation card, but fortunately it'll just be Zuko acting this time. And he would act last, and he's going to move 3 and burst attack 2. All right, I had to stop and look that one up because it doesn't say whom he's targeting, but I didn't know if I get to choose, but it's actually whoever's closest, which is good because Toph is closer, which means he can just move 1 space toward her, do the burst attack 2 and hit her for 2 damage. If he was moving over to Sokka to do 2 damage, that would have knocked him from 6 down to 4, and I would have taken a wound onto Sokka, which again, I'm trying to avoid that. But that is it. That's the entire enemy phase because we've gotten rid of all the rest of the enemies. And let's roll up who's first in round 3. 1 is odd. Sokka's got 5 cards this time. Oh, and I got to resolve Be the Hero first. Ooh. Oh, do a free basic action and then heal 1. All right, so we'll take the heal 1. I'm doing it slightly out of order, but that's the easy part. Free basic action, does that count to interact? Heroes can interact with village fires to put them out, aka remove the token. To do this interact action, a hero must use as many cards as the number on that token. But here I get a free one, so I guess it's free. I'm going to remove the token with the Be the Hero. Thanks, Sokka, for being the hero. And that is 1 down out of 4, 3 to go. I think a boomerang throw is straightforward. We get a move 1 and range attack 1. 1 will put us straight in line with Zuko, putting him down to 2. And we'll store that one for next turn. Got this War Club. I guess this is the 11th card that we hadn't drawn. It says place a card from your hand or a card from your mat on top of your deck. If you do close attack 2. So basically you're giving up one of your actions and saving it for next turn. But it does take a card away from your next hand or it takes a card away from your current hand. I don't know. It definitely takes, it costs something here. Because if I were to take, for example, a card from on top of my mat, the boomerang throw, and put it on top of my deck, that means I didn't get a free boomerang throw next turn. If I take a card from my hand and put it on top of my deck, well, then I'm down a card for this turn. But in that cost, you're getting paid back with a close attack 2, which is double the normal starting card would do. Which reminds me, I should have talked about what the upgrade cards are, because 10 of the character's cards have this S symbol, the starting symbol. It is currently in his deck. It got shuffled back in, but it's actually this rushing slice, the burst attack 1. Yeah, very powerful attack. The burst attack 1 makes sense that is not a starting card. That is the card I chose to level him up with. So that one is now back in the deck cycle, not in the hand currently, but we're not really looking for damage. Toph's was this one, Tremors. Whenever Toph places an earth tile this turn, it does burst attack 1. So she needs some more abilities to be able to place earth for that to really be great, but I thought it sounded fun, and we did get to use it last turn for 1 damage at the very least. So I'm thinking I'm going to use this War Club, though, just as basic action. I think we just need to move. We just need to start running across the map. We have an Appa, but we don't want to move Toph because she needs to put out that fire at 2. So I think I'm just going to use these 4 cards as 4 movement for Sokka, and just 1, 2, 3, 4 be running across the board. We need to flip a tile here, and we got, which one is it? This one. Everybody gets to draw a card. So Sokka gets a new hand of 5 at the end of his turn, and then we're going to shuffle again because he needs to draw a 6th card from this token effect. So he gets a 6th one, but that's still the end of his turn for now. We can resolve Toph's turn, and we need to start by putting out this fire. Also, Zuko's right next to us, and we do want to do that last 2 points of damage for the bonus over there. Didn't get a Momo, unfortunately. And yeah, I had the Tremors, but I don't have any way to place Earth this turn, so we're not going to be using that effect. 2 basic cards. And this Gravity Pull. Place an Earth under Toph. Move an enemy 2 spaces toward her. And heal 2. Zuko's already next to her. But I mean, I guess I'm going to do that for... we definitely want the healing. So I'm just going to place the Earth underneath Toph. Heal her for 2 up to 7. And Zuko's already next to her, so that card is done. I'm going to spend 2 cards for the 2 interact to get rid of this fire. We'll use Appa to move Toph and 1 hero 1 each, moving Toph to here and Sokka to there. And then just her Tremors is 1 more card. We'll just use that to move 1 more space to there. You know what? I'm going to cheat again. No, I think we're fine. I was going to say maybe I move her first, and then when I play the card to place an Earth underneath her, have that be in this space here where there's already some air. The Earth and air can share a space. That's fine. And Toph can be in that space too. That's totally fine. Elements and either a hero or an enemy can be in the same space. But if I did that, then there'd be this Earth would be here, and then she'd be next to Earth, which would be a lot of protection using her Earth Rumble Champion ability. But I don't think Zuko's going to do more than 1 damage at a time anyway. So I don't know. Maybe I'll regret it. But we'll end her turn there. Go ahead and draw her new 5 and resolve this tile, which is another blank. But now that all 6 have been revealed, we have to place a blank onto this space, which means instead of getting 3 XP when we win, if we win, which we probably will, we'll only get 2. Then these 5 get flipped back over. I'm going to shuffle them around a bit, and then we don't know which one's going to come up next. First, we got to resolve Zuko's card. He's up top this time. Move the highest strength hero 4 toward him. Highest strength is actually a tie. They're both at 7 now due to their healing. I don't want to pull Sokka. He's all the way over to this fire, so I don't want to pull him away from that. So I'm just going to pull Toph 1 space toward him. And then a burst attack 2. Actually, she is now, she's next to 2 Earth, but burst attack 2 does 2 damage. So actually I can, she's gonna hit her for 2. I can, why did I say I thought he would only do 1? He's been doing 2 pretty consistently. But when a hero would take damage, Toph may remove any Earth tiles for each one, prevent 1 damage to a hero close to that tile. So I can remove 2 tiles that are close to her and prevent 2 of that damage. So that felt pretty powerful and earthbendery. She just blocked it. And that is the end of that. Time for round 4. 6 is even. So this time Toph's actually going first. This 4 fire is going to be hard to put out. Oh, unless he drew the be a hero, but he did not. So we probably won't be able to finish it this round unless Toph can somehow hit Zuko for 2 and run all the way over there and finish that 1. But actually we might be able to do it. So I'm going to play Falling Rocks for Toph. Place 1 Earth tile close to any hero. It does a close attack 1. I'm going to place it in this space I don't know why, but it's close to Zuko, so it'll close attack 1. That'll put him down to 1. Then I have this fissure. I can move an earth tile in a straight line, and I think that counts diagonally. Maybe not. Diagonals are straight. They're just not orthogonally straight. But anyway, I'm not doing that because I'm going to use it to move, and I'm going to hope that Sokka can finish him off. But with that as a movement, plus 3 more cards, we can move 1, 2 spaces. And then the third one is going to be an interact for 1 because that is just the 1 fire tile. So we can have Toph put that out easily. That finishes Toph's turn. So we flip a tile and we get a draw. So Toph gets, she should refill her hand first. That was 1 card, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus draw a card now from this challenge tile. And then that's Sokka's deck, and he gets to go, and he starts out by triggering his plan, the boomerang throw, move 1 and range attack 1. I'm going to move him to here, and he's not quite in line with Zuko, so he's not going to be able to do the damage. But I didn't want to move him away. Well, not that I had a ton of options, but I need to make sure he's still next to that 4. And with a Momo, who counts for double, along with 2 more basics, we're going to go ahead and remove that fire. Ooh, but if I remove the fire, that triggers the end of the scenario. So I really need to do that last damage first. You know what? I don't think I can do the damage anyway. Yeah, I miscalculated anyway. So let's leave the 4 there and just go beat up Zuko a little bit. I need to move 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3 with Momo. We'll put him to here. And then the rushing slice is move 1, burst attack 1. So that'll close the gap. Burst attack will put Zuko down to just infinity. He started at infinity plus 6. This is a plan, so we'll store it. And then he's still got 3 more cards, all basics. And I think I'm just going to move back to this space because he's next to 2 Earth, which, again, we can use to protect him. I've got 2 cards wasted, so I'll just say that we punched him first and bring him down to infinity minus 1. Draw his next hand, 4 and 5. And then reveal a token, which is the reignite. Ooh. If 2 or fewer fires remain, replace the lowest number 1. So that's actually the 1, which is nice. So we just have to do the 1 again. Zuko gets to go, and he gets the bottom one here. Move the closest hero 3 toward him. So Sokka gets pulled in. Burst 2. Ooh, but that means we can only block 1 because he got pulled away from that other Earth. He's not next to it anymore, so this one isn't able to help. So we block 1 of the damage and put Sokka down to 6. And I'm being greedy here. I could have put out that fire and the scenario would have ended, but I wouldn't have gotten that last bonus point, which I wanted. So unless I run through these turns, I'm not losing out on any more XP. As long as I don't take too much damage, I'm not picking up any wounds, and otherwise I'm not being punished. So hopefully that works out. Even is Toph. She has to put out that fire again. So I'll spend a basic to get rid of it. Now she needs to move 1, 2, 3, and then get rid of the 4. That would be 7. She's only got 6. She's got a Momo, which is 2, but that's still 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 only. But still, there's nothing better to do. So let's just move her toward it. 1, 2. Or maybe it makes sense for her to kind of guard for Sokka. Falling rocks will let us place an earth tile and do damage, but damage is irrelevant now. So I'm just going to put it here. And 3 more cards, I'm just going to waste them, discard them all. Flip a tile, which is blank, and Sokka gets to go. He starts with a rushing slice, move 1, and burst attack 1. I'll just move him away from Zuko. He's got to go toward this fire. Can he put it out? He needs to move 1, 2, 3, again 7. Where's that card? Oh, I just picked up his deck. I was going to say, where's his Be a Hero card? I didn't have it last turn, so I should have it this turn. Yeah, here it is. Do a free basic action and heal 1. So that'll handle the 4. I just need to get him over there. Appa lets them both move 1, but I think I still want to leave Toph where she is. And then with 2 more cards, doesn't matter. He can go 1, 2. And with Be the Hero, he will heal 1 and do a free basic action, even though it's a value of 4, and get rid of that fire. So I dragged it out a little bit so that I could get the most bonus points possible. I did miss out on this XP. If I rushed things, I could have gotten 3 XP instead of just the 2 that I'm going to get here. Let's go ahead and resolve that. So I'm going to get 2 XP. So from 2, I'm going to go up to 4. I didn't cross any colored diamonds, so there's no bonus effects for that. I got my objective, which is -2 Fire Nation dominance, and the bonus, so another -1, so 17 down to 14. And now here I did cross a green one, which is going to be gain an action card. So all the heroes get another more powerful card for their deck. And then we got to read after the battle, choose one to continue on your journey. So we can either choose recovering. Will you attempt to mend wounds while visiting Omashu, a city where you can ride the delivery chutes like a giant slide? I don't think we'll choose that because we don't need to recover any wounds. Or focusing, will you attempt to increase team avatar experience? That sounds good. By visiting the spirit world to quell an angry forest spirit, go to encounter 3. I'm definitely choosing that one. So this is the encounter stack here. And I'm going to go to the one numbered 3 and we can see the spirit world. All right, we zoomed out a little bit. It says, Team Avatar enters a village in crisis. Every night at sunset, a monstrous black and white spirit named Heibai abducts one villager. That night, Aang tries to stop the spirit, but Sokka is abducted, and the Avatar must journey into the spirit world to save him. Aang attempts to calm Heibai and secure the release of all those taken, including Sokka. Complete a focusing encounter and flip the card. The instructions, it says, are on page 17. To win, overcome 3 conflicts. If you win, get 3 experience. If you lose, get 1 experience. All right, so we won't read the rest of that yet. Let's go ahead and do our challenge. So I'm going to clear our stuff out of the way. All right, so here we've got the tiles, and these are the tiles. The element tiles are what you use for the challenges. So to set up this type of challenge, a focus or an encounter, sorry, these are called encounters. The focusing encounter. Now let's move this out of the way as well. So we're going to set up the 3 air, the 3 water, and each of these element tiles has a number on the back. And those numbers are not used during the challenges, but they're used during these encounters. And I mix them up, so I don't know which one's which. And I'm going to put them into 2 columns. The air and water column, which is considered our side, and the fire and earth column, which is considered the enemy side. Now I get to pick 2 of the tiles to flip over and reveal their values. I think strategically it doesn't matter, but let's do this one, and I'll just do the one from the next row there. So we know that we've got a 1 here and a 3 here. Now the purpose of the game is to win 3 challenges. If these 2 tiles were paired against each other, at the end of this little challenge, we would reveal the fire, and then we'd see which number is bigger, our number on the left or the enemy number on the right. In this case, I revealed a 1, so we probably will lose whatever little matchup that this 1 is paired up against. It may not be paired up against this, though. We get to choose. So that's part of this strength. Although, again, it's not likely to win. And similarly, this 3 is probably going to beat whatever it's next to. If the numbers are tied, so if this 1 is up against another 1, then it would actually be a tie, and that is a loss. So actually this is going to be a loss no matter what, or this specifically, that tile is going to lose no matter what. But again, I can choose how to pair them up. So what I do first is I get to flip, and we may as well zoom in here. So let's take a look. Again, these numbers are not matched up, so I can just move them out of the way. So now I get to choose one tile to flip over, and I'm going to choose this one. After I flipped 1 tile, I need to choose 2 tiles to be a matchup. And I'm just going to go ahead and choose these 2. I can choose any 2 tiles. It doesn't have to be the one that I just flipped up. And I already know that this is going to lose and this is going to win. So I may as well put them against each other. And then we flip 1 more tile. I mean, I wonder if this is even a good choice because, well, I would love to be able to find their 1 of fire so that my 2 can beat it. So let's see. A 1. Okay. But if I choose that as the matchup, then I'm going off no information for the rest of these. I know this is a 2. And I know this is a 3. So having my 3 beat a 2 is actually pretty good. So I could choose that as a matchup. And then go into the next turn and flip 1 tile. And I got another 2. And I would like a 2 to beat a 1. So I could choose that as a matchup. And then maybe flip this one. I can get my 2 to beat a 1. So we can do that. And we can do this, 3. All we've seen so far is a 1, so it's actually a 50-50 shot now. Either we put our 3 against their 3 and we lose, and then our leftover water here is a 1, and that would be, in this case, this would be a 2, and we would lose that as well. Or if this happens to be their 2, then our 3 would beat their 2, and our 1 would still lose against their 3. So we can either lose 1 or both of these, but I think it doesn't matter because right now we're winning this one, we're winning this one, and I'm pretty confident we're winning that one, even though it's not revealed. And our goal is just to win 3 of them. So I'm not too worried. We did get the 2 though. So I guess I chose that as a matchup and then that. So anyway, we reveal all the tiles once we've matched them up. I think I slightly messed that up, but hopefully it made sense. We reveal all the tiles. You can see I lost this one, I won this one, I won this one, I won this one, I won this one, and I lost this one. And since I won at least 3, the spirit world says, yeah, to win, overcome 3 conflicts. So we got that. Increase team avatar experience by 3. So I can go up from 4 up to 7. That means I passed a gray space, which says remove a card. So every hero gets to remove a card from their deck. If we had picked up any wounds, we'd actually get a little bit of healing there. It'd be an opportunity to remove a healing, or remove a wound. But instead, I'm going to be removing one of their basic cards from all 4 of the heroes' decks. I still need to resolve this gain an action card ability as well. But I'll go ahead and read the epilogue. It says, Aang meets the troubled Heibai, soothing the spirit's anger at the Fire Nation's devastation of his forest. Heibai returns the missing villagers and Sokka back to the real world. The journey continues after many adventures and stops along the way. Team Avatar arrives at the North Pole in search of a waterbending master. Admiral Zhao, now commanding the Fire Nation Navy, and Prince Zuko are in pursuit. Flip to pages 8 and 9 in the book of challenges and set up the siege of the North Pole. So we're zoomed in here, but quick look at this scenario if you want. That'll be for next time though, and that has the difficulty 2 rating this time. All right, so let's resolve the gain an action card. I've got Sokka's extra upgrade cards here. Shuffle those and reveal 2, and we'll choose one of the random 2 that get revealed. And our options are investigate or experienced leader. Investigate says Sokka and each close hero searches their deck for any card added to their hand and shuffle. And it's a plan, so it gets to happen twice, which is really nice, but he's got to be next to his friends. And in a 2-player game, that's probably not going to be as good. So I think this card's really strong if you're playing with probably 4 players, less so at 3 and even less at 2, which is what I'm doing. Or experienced leader says one other hero may do the actions on all cards above Sokka's mat. Ooh, that seems pretty strong. You have to draw it along with some plan cards, but yeah, I definitely like that one. So I'm going to give him the experienced leader card. That's going to be added into his deck, and I've removed this card due to the gray space we passed. And then same thing for Toph. Going to reveal 2 from here. We got Reverberate and Seismic Sense. Reverberate says place an earth tile close to an enemy. Ooh, I like placing earth tiles because I have that other ability that triggers off them being placed. This turn, Toph does +1 damage to that enemy, so it's a super combo. Yeah, I'm liking that one. The other option is Seismic Sense. Reveal the top card of each hero's deck. Discard all basic action cards and wounds. Choose 2 heroes to draw a card. Well, that's pretty good, but again, with fewer players, it's not as powerful because it doesn't get to help as many players' draws. Also, that we haven't picked up any wounds yet, and we're already removing some of the basic cards from our decks. The choose 2 heroes to draw a card doesn't scale with number of players. It's actually perfectly functional at 2, but I'm still going to stick with the Reverberate. I need to get more ways to place Earth down for her. And of course, taking out one of her basics. And that is challenge 2 of the campaign. Well, as you can see, there was a branching path, or if you saw at the end of the first challenge, I chose this particular scenario as my second one, and based on the choice I made at the end of this one, I went to a different one here now leading into the third one. So you do not play every challenge in a campaign. I think there'll be like 5 challenges that you don't see if on a singular campaign playthrough. So you can definitely come back and try the other one the next time you play. I'll be updating Aang and Katara's decks off camera so that they'll be updated for next time they show up during this campaign. I'll probably switch around the pairings, so we'll see either Sokka or Toph and either Aang or Katara in Challenge 3. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and bye.